All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 140-pound division where Gervonta Davis's name is being bantied about quite a bit in press conferences, in a press conference related to the Terrence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov fight that's going to be taking place this weekend in Los Angeles. The person talking about him, though, is Pitbull Cruz. And now that we know that Gervonta Davis will not be fighting Shakur Stevenson on November 23rd, despite many reports to the contrary, Gervonta Davis is open. And the manager for Issac Cruz spoke about it. Now, well, actually, let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and I think I know what's going to happen with Gervonta Davis next. I think I know who his next opponent is. I'm almost willing to put a little chump change on a bet on it, even though I'm not a betting man. But if I was a betting man, I would say that we think we know who the guy is, and it is most likely going to be Issac Cruz. In the press conference for the fight that Issac Cruz is going to be having in the fight that Issac Cruz is going to have this Saturday night against Rayo Valenzuela, questions were posed to him and the managers of Issac Cruz said that they would be available to fight in December. So you have, what is this, August? So you have pretty much all of August, September, October. August, September, October, November, December. So yeah, that's about right. He get a month rest, 2 months rest, get back into training camp for an 8-week training camp coming off of a fight, and he should be ready in December. Also, just so you know, Gervonta Davis has a fairly decent history of fighting in December, November, in the December timeframe. So since that was said, more than likely that's what's going to happen. Now, my question would be, what belt would it be for? Will it be for Gervonta Davis's 135-pound WBA championship, or is he going to move up and fight Issac Cruz for his championship at 140? If Issac Cruz is able to successfully defend his title against Rayo Valenzuela, a fight that, I have like a 60-40 fight, for Issac over Rayo Valenzuela. However, Rayo Valenzuela's definitely got the ability to win the fight, man, with that length, the height. If he is able, and he's got very good power. So if he's able to keep Issac Cruz, at bay with the jab and shots coming inside, and he's able to really keep up that over the course of 12 rounds, hey, man, we may be talking about whether or not Gervonta is going to be fighting Rayo Valenzuela or not, and what weight class after that fight. But I think it's going to be probably at 135 pounds. I would have a suspicion that that's what Gervonta, but then Gervonta may go up there and say, let me get a title. Let me get another title at 140. It could go either way. However, there are definitely ramifications to him going to 140 pounds, because if he goes to 140 pounds, everybody is going to be saying, hey, man, you moved up to 140 pounds to fight Mario Barrios. You moved up to 140 pounds to fight Issac Cruz. What about me? Which could really put into play, the fights and call outs from Teofimo Lopez, from I don't count, like Liam Perro, Sabril Matias. Even though I'm going to tell you one guy I don't think Gervonta Davis is ever going to fight is Sabril Matias at 140. Sabril Matias looks like a 147 pounder that's draining down to 140 pounds. But at the end of the day, you get my point. There's going to be questions about what weight class that is, and he's going to open Pandora's box if he fights at 140 pounds, right? But I think that's safe to say that that's going to be the fight that takes place next. Another reason why I believe that is the case is because of what Calvin Ford himself has said about other fights being out there that are bigger than the Shakur Stevenson fight. And I have to tell you, man, there is a chance that what they are saying about Gervonta Davis versus Issac Cruz in a rematch it could be big or big. It has the potential to be as big or bigger than the Shakur Stevenson fight because of the Mexican fan base that has been grown by Issac Cruz, and that really did elevate a lot after the first fight with Gervonta Davis versus Issac Cruz. That last minute replacement where Gervonta had his hand hurt and the fight wound up going the distance, like the only time Gervonta's gone the distance in the last I don't know, man. Was it been 7 years? It had been like 7 years since he had gone the distance in a fight. And I think the only time that he'd ever gone the distance in a fight, it was like an 8-round fight. You know what I mean? So it was like a 6 to 8 round fight. So that same person that went the distance in those earlier fights at around 8 would probably not have gotten out of the fight if it was a 12-round fight. However, there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this fight. Personally, I like the fight. There are people that get this amnesia and forget that after the fight with Cruz and Gervonta, there were a lot of people saying that Gervonta Davis lost that fight, that Gervonta Davis was exposed during that fight. And you also know, so there was all of that narrative going on around, and there's that storyline, though that narrative is going to change into the storyline for the next fight as soon as it is announced, or as soon as there's, good speculation about it taking place. But I personally, if I had to bet, like I said, I would bet on the fight with Issac Cruz being next for Gervonta. Obviously, the Shakur Stevenson fight is not going to be taking place on November 23rd, despite all those rumors that are out there to the contrary. Shakur Stevenson looks like he is in negotiations to fight William Zepeda. Shout out to Southpaw TV. William Zepeda. So that looks like that could pop off. Now, what I'm hoping is, though, that if it is the case that Shakur Stevenson goes to fight Zepeda and Gervonta Davis fights Issac Cruz, I would like for those to be in the same month. So if Shakur can come back in December and Gervonta can come back in December, you can start seeing, and we start seeing those, kind of people fighting on the same schedule, right? So, because you only fight twice a year. So if you're fighting 3 months after the other person is, then you may not be ready. You're on a different cycle, right? So hopefully these guys get to stay on the same cycle of fight schedules by fighting, in the December timeframe. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.